Hi and welcome, and we have been blessed with a glorious autumn day to do this Vinyasa strength sequence. So we'll be doing a beginner style Vinyasa flow and adding some strength poses. When we strengthen our body, it helps to build resilience and strength mentally and emotionally. So with no further ado, let's begin. We're going to start off in Tadasana, in mountain pose. Really taking some time to connect to the ground beneath your feet. Imagining roots growing out of your feet into the earth, down, 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 all the layers of the earth, deeper and deeper and deeper to the earth's core. And then imagine these roots wrapping themselves 3 times around the earth's core. 1, 2, 3. And then drawing that energy, that beautiful, strong, grounded earth energy up from the earth's core, back up through all the layers of the earth, through your roots, up, up, up to the soles of your feet. Up through your legs, gently lifting the kneecaps, engaging the quads as you draw that energy up into your hips, pelvis and buttocks. Drawing that beautiful grounded energy up through your torso to your heart, giving your heart a nice hit of grounded earth energy. Up through your chest, your neck, through your skull and out through the crown of your head. And we're going to start off with some half sun salutations, just to warm the body up. Standing at the top of your mat, hands at heart center, breathing in, reaching all the way up. Breathing out, forward fold, keeping a tiny bend in the knees to protect the hamstrings, hands on the shins, coming halfway up, nice flat back, leading through the crown of the head. Breathing in, breathe out. Forward fold. Breathe in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose, hands back to heart center as you breathe out. And again, breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, forward fold. Hands on the shins, coming halfway up, leading through the crown of the head, nice flat back. Breathing in. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose as you breathe out. Last time, breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, forward fold. Coming halfway up, breathing in. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose. And now Sun Salutation C's. We'll take the first round nice and smoothly. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, forward fold. Stepping back with the right leg. Knee to the floor, foot to the floor. Gazing forward, coming up onto the fingertips. Opening up through the front of the body. Just watching those shoulders don't creep up by the ears. Low lunge. Opening up through the outer hip and the back hip flexor. Breathing nice and smoothly. Placing the hands on the floor, stepping back into plank, pressing through the heels. Imagine the energy travelling all the way up from the soles of your feet, through your body, out through the crown of your head. Breathing nice and smoothly, strengthening the core, igniting the inner fire. Lower the knees down onto the floor, lower the chest between the hands as you exhale, scooping forward. Low cobra as you inhale, lifting from the belly, elbows skimming the ribs, shoulders released away from the ears, keeping the elbows slightly bent. Coming back to the breath. Coming up onto the knees, curling the toes under, coming into downward dog. And walking your dog alternate heels towards the floor, activating and stretching through the glutes, the hamstrings and the calves. Lowering both heels towards the floor, connecting to your palms, nice length through the arms, bum moving up towards the ceiling, nice line of energy down the legs to the heels, tucked behind the ankles, downward dog. When you're ready to breathe in, taking the right leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Breathe out, taking that foot to the top of the mat. Gazing forward, breathing nice and smoothly, coming into low lunge. Coming back to the breath. Bringing the left foot up to join the right in a forward fold as you breathe out. Breathe in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose as you breathe out. Leading with the left leg, breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, forward fold. Stepping back with the left leg, knee to the floor, taking the arms overhead in the low lunge crescent. If you want to take it up to the next level, you gently curl the back toes under, coming up into the high lunge. Being mindful of keeping that front knee stacked above the ankle. Try and take the thigh parallel with the floor, crescent pose. Focusing on your drishti, so a spot in front of you that isn't moving to help you with your balance. In yoga it's known as a drishti. Coming back to the breath. Hands flat on the floor, stepping back into plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest between the hands as you exhale. Inhale, low cobra. Curling the toes under, coming into downward dog as you breathe out. Breathe in, taking the left leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog, pressing through the heel, toes facing towards the floor. Breathe out, taking that foot to the back of the mat. Lower the knees, arms overhead in the low lunge crescent. And you can stay here if you wish, remembering to honour your body, work within your limits. If you want to take it up to the high lunge, just curl the back toes under, coming into the high lunge. Breathing nice and smoothly. Fingertips to the floor, right foot joins the left in a forward fold as you breathe out. Breathe in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose as you breathe out. Leading with the right leg for twisting lunge. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, forward fold. Stepping back with the right leg. Opposite hand to knee, opposite hand to buttock, twisting through the torso as you breathe in. Keep breathing smoothly. Hands flat on the floor, stepping back into plank. Lower the knees onto the floor, lower the chest between the hands as you exhale. Inhale, low cobra. Curling the toes under, coming into downward dog as you breathe out. Breathe in, taking the right leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Breathe out, taking that foot to the top of the mat. Opposite hand to knee, opposite hand to buttock as you turn to look over your shoulder. Twisting lunge. Breathing nice and smoothly. Fingertips to the floor, left foot joins the right in a forward fold as you breathe out. Breathing in, let the breath take you all the way up, closing the pose. So we're going to do it all again, a bit more dynamically. Breathing in, reaching all the way up. Breathing out, forward fold. Leading with the left leg. Low lunge, gazing forwards as you breathe in. Hands flat on the floor, stepping back into plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest between the hands, scooping forward, low cobra. Curling the toes under as you breathe out. Downward dog. Breathe in, taking the left leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Breathe out, take that foot to the top of the mat. Gazing forwards, and you can always direct your foot up with your hands, breathing in. Taking the right foot up to join the left in a forward fold as you breathe out. Breathing in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose as you breathe out. Breathing in, reaching all the way up. Breathing out, forward fold. Leading with the right leg. Low lunge, crescent or high lunge. Taking a breath in as you take the arms overhead. Hands flat on the floor, stepping back into plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest between the hands, scooping forward, low cobra. Breathing in. Curling the toes under, coming into downward dog as you breathe out. Breathe in, taking the right leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Breathe out, taking the foot to the top of the mat. Back knee on the floor or off the floor, however you choose to do crescent pose, and taking a breath in as you take the arms overhead. Fingertips to the floor, left foot joins the right in a forward fold as you breathe out. Breathing in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose as you breathe out. Last time leading with the left leg. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, forward fold. Stepping back with the left leg. Opposite hand to knee, twisting lunge as you breathe in. Hands flat on the floor. Stepping back into plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest between the hands. Exhale, inhale, low cobra. Curling the toes under, coming into downward dog. Breathe in, taking the left leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Breathe out, take that foot to the top of the mat. Opposite hand to knee, in a twisting lunge. Breathing in, twisting lunge. Fingertips to the floor. Right foot joins the left in a forward fold as you breathe out. Breathe in, let the breath take you all the way up. Closing the pose. Okay, so you should be feeling nice and warm now. As we progress through the series, we will start to link the standing poses through the Vinyasa, through the Sun Salutation. But in these initial sessions, we're going to just break down the poses. So we're going to start off in Tadasana. And if you're a more seasoned, experienced yogi, it's always nice to go back to basics, reminding yourself of the foundation of each pose. Taking a nice wide stance. This leg is going to face forward, turning the back foot away, heel to arch alignment, raising the arms at shoulder height as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, bending the front leg. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Warrior pose, all about channeling your inner warrior. Strength, determination, self-assurance, self-confidence. Gazing over your middle finger, using your middle finger as your drishti, so that spot to help you balance. Keeping the knee stacked above the ankle, thigh parallel with the floor if you can. And as you exhale, lower the back hand onto the thigh, turn the front hand up to face the ceiling. Breathing in, taking the arm overhead, gazing up at your palm. Humble warrior, opening up through the front of the body. And as you exhale, taking the elbow to the thigh, arm overhead, Parsvakonasana, extended side angle pose, pressing through the outer edge of that back foot. Nice line of energy all the way up to the fingertips. Coming back to the breath. Nice, smooth breaths. Coming back to Warrior 2, straightening the legs, turning to face forward, toes turning out, heels turning in, taking the arms into cactus arms as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, lowering down into goddess pose. Brilliant pose for counteracting fear and doubt. Coming back to the breath. Nice smooth breaths. Take it a little lower if you can. And then straightening up as you breathe out. This leg, 90 degrees. Turn the back foot away, 45 degrees. Middle of the heel, to the middle of the arch. Heel to arch alignment. Raising the arms as you breathe in, gazing over your middle finger, and as you breathe out, bending that front leg. Keeping the knee stacked above the ankle. Thigh as parallel with the floor as you can make it. Watch those shoulders aren't creeping up. Really create that space between the shoulders and the ears. Focusing on your middle finger as your dristi. And as you exhale, lower the back hand, turn the front hand up towards the ceiling. Breathing in, taking the arm overhead, gazing up at your palm. And as you exhale, taking the elbow to the thigh, arm overhead, Parsvakonasana, extended side angle pose. Breathing nice and smoothly. Calming back to the breath throughout. So if your breath starts to run away with you, just slow it right down. Sends a really powerful message to the brain that you've got this, because you have. Windmilling back to warrior two, straightening the leg. Toes turning out, heels turning in. Arms in cactus as you breathe in. As you breathe out, lowering into goddess. Breathing nice and smoothly. And just take it an inch lower if you can. And straightening back up. Walking the feet back together, coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose, and we're going to finish off the standing poses with tree pose. So shifting your weight to this leg, bringing the heel to the ankle, focusing on a spot directly in front of you, that's your dristi, will help you balance, sliding the foot to the calf. If that's enough for you, stay here. If you want to take the foot to the inner thigh, take the foot to the inner thigh. Just be mindful of never placing your foot on your knee. Breathing in, taking the arms overhead. Breathing out, spreading the arms wide like the branches of a tree. This pose is all about focus and clarity, balance and poise. Bring the hands back through center, lowering the foot back to the floor, coming back to Tadasana. Taking a moment to ground yourself, shifting the weight to this leg, moving the heel to the ankle as you just shift your attention to that leg. If it helps, you can even imagine you're growing roots out of your feet like we did right at the beginning. Bringing the foot to the calf. Focusing on your dristi. And if that's enough, stay here. If you want to take the foot to your inner thigh, just move your foot to your inner thigh. Just always being careful to protect the knee, not placing the foot on the knee. Breathe in, taking the arms overhead. Breathe out, taking the arms wide like the branches of a tree. Bringing the hands back to heart center, lowering the foot back to the floor, back to Tadasana. And let's go down onto the floor. So taking the legs out in front of you, bending the right leg, placing the foot on the floor. Taking the left arm out to the side and then hug the knee with the elbow. Take the right arm overhead as you breathe in. As you breathe out, take that hand round to the opposite buttock, lifting through the sternum as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, twisting through the torso. Maritiasana, seated twist. Twists are great for squeezing toxins out of the internal organs, improving digestion and improving the mobility and flexibility in the spine. Gently unwinding, taking the legs out in front, coming back to Dandasana, staff pose. Imagine there's a thread from the crown of your head pulling you upright. And then bending the left foot, placing it on the floor a few inches away from your knee, taking the arm out to the side as you breathe in, hugging the knee as you breathe out. Taking the arm overhead as you breathe in, and taking the left hand round to the opposite buttock as you breathe out. Lifting through the sternum as you breathe in, twisting, isolating the twist through the torso as you breathe out. And then breathing nice and smoothly. This is important. As you breathe out, you're getting rid of the toxins from the internal organs, and as you breathe in, you're flooding those organs with freshly oxygenated blood. It's important to keep breathing throughout. And gently unwinding, coming back to Dandasana, hands either side of the hips, sitting upright, taking the arms overhead as you breathe in. As you breathe out, coming down anywhere along the legs that feels comfortable. That may be the shins and the calf, ankles, or the feet. Bringing the chest to the thigh, extending out through the crown of the head. Breathing nice and smoothly. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, the great asana. Asana in yoga means pose. This pose is great at stretching through the hamstrings. So if you do have very tight hamstrings, it's important to keep a tiny bend in the legs to protect your hamstrings from overstretching. Equally, if you're hypermobile, you'll need a tiny little bend to protect from overstretching. We're extending out through the crown of the head as we bring the chest to the thighs, increasing the energy to the nerves along the spine, and we're massaging the internal organs, cooling and calming the mind as we go with a forward fold. Breathing in, taking the arms overhead as you breathe out, bringing the hands down to rest either side of your hips. Bending the legs, shift your bottom a bit closer to your heels. Hands at shoulder height, palms facing inwards. You're going to slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, engaging your core as you come to rest on your mat. Placing the hands either side of the hips, palms facing down. You can shift your feet so that you can't quite touch the back of the heels, but they're quite close to your bottom. Feet are hip distance apart, and as you breathe in, you're gently going to guide your hips up towards the ceiling, using your thighs and your hamstrings to do all the work. Satipatha bridge pose. Opening up through the hip flexors, opening up through the lower back with a gentle back bend, and opening up through the front of the body, balancing evenly across the shoulders. Try and lift with the hamstrings and the thighs rather than with the butt. Try and let the butt go. If you squeeze with the butt, you can sometimes feel a little pinching in the lower back. It doesn't feel that good. So try and let go of the butt, and then try and make sure that your knees are not flopping out to the side, keeping your thighs and your knees parallel. Bridge pose. And as you exhale, lowering the hips to the floor And then hugging your knees into your chest, counterposing the back bend by stretching through the lower back. You can gently rock from side to side, massaging the spine in the floor. Breathing nice and smoothly. Extending the arms out at shoulder height, keeping the knees bent and the feet together. Taking a nice smooth breath in, and as you breathe out, lower the knees down to one side, turning your head in the opposite direction in a simple twist. Storing equilibrium in the spine, allowing your body to melt into the floor. This is the last pose before we go into Shavasana. Then breathing in, bringing the knees through center. Breathing out, taking the knees down to the other side, turning your head in the opposite direction. And then bringing the knees back to center. Bringing the soles of the feet together, resting on the outside edge of the feet. Knees gently gracing the floor, palms either side of your hips, facing upwards. Close down your eyes and allow your breathing to return to normal. We're going to start off Shavasana, your relaxation pose, in Supta Konasana, reclining butterfly. Gently scanning down from our head to our hips, and then we'll extend the legs into the floor. So bringing your awareness to the crown of your head. Softening your forehead. Releasing the space between your eyes and around your eyes. Relaxing your mouth, tongue and jaw. Softening your throat and neck. Releasing your shoulders, relaxing your arms and hands. Relaxing all the way down the front of your torso and all the way down your back. Lengthening your legs into the floor, keeping the feet slightly wider than hip distance as you relax your hips, pelvis and buttocks. Relaxing all the way down the front of the legs and all the way down the back of the legs. Relaxing your ankles, the soles of your feet, the top of your feet and your toes. Shavasana is one of my favourite parts of yoga. I love all of yoga, but Shavasana is definitely one of my favourite bits. And it's actually the most important part in the class. It's when we allow our bodies to absorb the benefits of the practice by getting still and silent. I certainly could stay here all day in this beautiful sunshine, but it's time to transition out. Gently bring some movement back to your body by wriggling your fingers and your toes. Using your left hand to hug your right knee into your chest as you breathe in. Breathe out, taking the knee down to the left hand side. Breathing in, bringing the knee back to center. Breathing out, extending the leg back into the floor. Using your right hand to guide your left leg as you breathe in, bring the knee to your chest. Breathe out, bringing the knee down to the right side. Breathe in, bringing the knee back to the chest, and breathe out, bring the leg back to the floor. And then you're gently going to hug your knees into your chest, rolling up and down along the spine 3 or 4 times. Until you come into a comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands to heart center. May the light that shines within me honour the light that shines within you. Namaste.